The podcast, which you are about to listen to, is an account of the tragedy which befell a group of 3 library staff members, tasked with picking films for each other to view. It is all the more tragic that they were relatively young, but had they lived very, very long lives, they could not have expected, nor would they have wished, to listen to as much of the mad and macabre as they were to experience this day. For them, a day at the office became a nightmare. The events of this discussion were to lead to the discovery of one of the most bizarre podcasts in the annals of American history, the Real Opposites Podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome to The Real Opposites. I'm Aaron,
I'm Josh.
I'm Tobey.
and we are back this time to discuss Josh's pick from last episode.
Natural Born Killers.
Yes.
So I wasn't here, and I didn't know who picked this.
Yeah.
Because I was like, usually I would think it was you, Josh.
Yeah.
But because I had Juliette Lewis in it, I wasn't
that's true.
sure because
Yeah.
that's Aaron loves her. So
Okay.
yeah, and things. So I was like, the whole time I was watching this, I was like, now I get to go in and find out who actually picked this one because I have no idea.
Yeah, it was my pick. I love this movie. I didn't really see it when it came out. It was a few years later on video, and it's definitely equally a time capsule of the mid '90s. It's funny it came out like right a couple months before the OJ
Mm-hmm.
incident and trial, and
Yeah.
took up every little ounce of news we ever got
Mm-hmm.
for like a year and a half, and a bit of a warning
Right.
Yeah.
about the what was to come at the dawn of the internet a few years later. But just as a film, it is so wild and fun, and I know it's like fun, but because it's following mass murderers, but it's and romantic and like just really funny, and like just watching people like Tommy Lee Jones and Robert Downey Jr. Just chew
Oh my God.
like with like they're starving, just chewing the scenery.
I don't think I've ever seen a Robert Downey Jr. pre his like departure from Hollywood, and
Yeah.
then like, so this is my first experience with
Okay.
young Robert Downey.
Yeah, this would have been Downey like starting his drug phase, I think.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, pre that, like he was at like Less Than Zero, and he was nominated for the Chaplin movie a couple years before this. And Tommy Lee, I think, had just won the Oscar.
Mhm.
Like this was, I think, probably the first movie he had coming off his Oscar win for The Fugitive. And I mean, Rodney Dangerfield, like the cast is just extraordinary. People you wouldn't really expect.
No.
Right.
Tom Sizemore, Dale Dye, like all these like Jared Harris, like who has become one of the better actors around, Richard Harris's son,
Mhm.
and like it's just stacked, and I just love. It's great when the message, not like the message, but like the message of the movie, and the cinematic stylings all like mesh together to create like something really unique. Yeah, so I don't think either of you had seen the movie. So
No.
I'm really curious what cuz I'm sure like you've heard of it, cuz there was, it's a lot of controversy when it came out, and it probably still is continued to be controversial. So I'm curious what you all thought of it.
When I put it on, my husband was like, "You may or may not like this." He wasn't sure, or we weren't sure, like, because sometimes if things are mean spirited, like I don't. But I did not find this to be mean spirited.
No.
But like, given the subject matter and like what it was going, like you said, it's not fun because you're following mass murderers, but it is kind of fun.
It's fun to watch.
And it is fun to watch. Which I think it's supposed to be, because you're supposed to be buying into this, like the point of the story is like the media glorifies and consumes this.
Yeah.
And putting it out there in this like very larger than life, really distanced way. Honestly, like I mean, like everything feels false and like both true and false at the same time. Like
Yeah.
it's like there's like the sitcom sections, which are like their flashbacks to their past, and like there's just a lot of some like craziness going on there. And I went to it being like, I'm not sure how this is gonna land for me, and I ended up absolutely loving this. It was a very really interesting. I don't think I like the style choices were incredible, because there are moments where it feels like it's just out of like a schlock horror, like mass chaos. Looks like Ricky O for a few moments in the during
Yeah.
the like during the prison riot, and then there's like these really grounded character moments like that are like kind of honestly like both kind of sweet and also really sad through lots of it. Like the character, Mickey and Mallory are tragic characters. Obviously they take, obviously what they ended up doing is horrific, and it takes away some of the tragedy of their lives, but their lives leading up to those choices are obvious. They have the shrink on TV, and he's like, well, I don't think any of that happened. I think they're just evil, basically. And it's like,
right.
I mean, yes, they are evil, but but like he even says, like, people aren't born evil. They're just told they're bad until they become like, and it was just, there's a lot to think about. This movie is meaty.
Like what you talk about, like the sitcom, like the Rodney Dangerfield part in particular with Mallory's dad.
Oh,
like,
yes.
and he's saying, there's clearly like he's sexually abusing her,
Right.
and he's treating like he just is terrible father of the century. But and it's making a commentary like how they treat like the real horrors people live at home. But if you put a laugh track behind it,
right,
it just kind of makes it like that's how we cope with the tragedy of our lives.
Well, and I love the dichotomy of like this, like the sitcom family is what is like really put out during the 90s at this time. And there's some level of like what we call like boomer humor in the sitcoms of that time, where like the husband will joke, or from the 50s until like the 90s, the husband will joke about like beating his wife, or like there'll be like some things like that, like bang zoom straight to the moon, woman, like that kind of vibe, and they put a laugh track behind it, and everyone is like, haha, it's so silly, so funny. And it's like, no, actually, that's horrifying. Like, that's not not something you should say to someone that you love. And like, this is obviously like a really, really like blown out version of like well beyond the pale version of that, but like
like
uncommon.
One of the criticisms from the critics at the time that didn't like it, a lot of them did, was that it beat you over the head with the message. But I think that's kind of the point. Because it's simultaneously mirroring the media that it's satirizing, and emulating it.
Yeah, but if you're gonna beat someone in the head, at least it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, at least I say, like, at least like the making of the movie, and like there is always something going on in every frame, and it's
visually interesting.
Yeah, and it like the way he takes, so he kind of. Like with JFK, Oliver Stone made JFK too, which we did on the podcast. So in that movie, like he basically invented a new style of editing and of cross-cutting different formats in black and white and color and 8mm and 16mm and 35 and video, and he took that even further with this one, and it's like it's always visually and orally captivating. The soundtrack's amazing too. But yeah. So, Aaron.
Yes.
What did you think?
So I remember when we ended the podcast and we were looking at it, I remember looking up the movie and maybe watching a trailer or something,
Mm-hmm.
and I was really, really excited to watch it. So we sat down to watch it the other day, and I'm not gonna lie, for most of it, I was like, "What the hell am I watching?"
Yeah.
A little sensory overload.
It's a lot.
I don't know exactly how I feel about it. Um, it's weird, but I mean, I like weird stuff, so I don't think I hated it. I liked the storyline, like, the following the criminals, of course. That's my
Yeah.
kind of thing. So like, I liked that. But I felt like I should have been on drugs while watching it.
Well, yeah.
Like, it almost felt
I
like
mean,
to understand what was going on, I would have had to be exactly in their
There
spot.
is a
Which
little
I
bit.
know what they were doing. I mean, I
Yeah.
understand it. But I don't know if it's like, I don't know. But we both were just like, Mark and I would look at each other and be like, what is going on?
What's happening? Well, there is a level of trippiness to this that is very. I
Yeah.
feel like it's very intentional. They're on shrooms like the whole time.
Right. And that's what I say. Like, that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it. But I almost felt like I had to also be to follow it. I don't know.
Well, and I think that it's that like that's meant to give you that little bit of distance of like, what, like, is this like, what is happening in the context of the story is horrific from start to finish. It is very dark, and if you made this a very serious movie,
Yeah.
from start to finish, it would be really hard to stomach, I think. But because like they kind of give you that like trippy feel and those like the cuts to black and white, the cuts to like the
animated
demon,
sequence.
the animated sequences, it kind of gives you a little bit of space, I think, where you can kind of sit in it, because I was really afraid watching this that it was going to feel like I was trusting it probably wouldn't, because it is like Oliver Stone.
Yeah.
Stone. But I was really worried that it was going to feel like a Rob Zombie.
Oh no,
Which
please.
it's not. No. I know, but like
I'm insulted.
the concept. Well, the concept though is a very.
It is.
It's a very Rob Zombie concept. The casting of Woody Harrelson and Juliette Lewis, obviously they're much better caliber actors, but I knew that they were going to be white trash just because that's who they like, so I was worried that was the feeling that we were going to get, and it wasn't at all, which was very nice and refreshing. But I was worried, and it didn't do that, so that was nice. And I feel like that, yeah, he's just trying to create space so that it doesn't feel too
morose or
like exploitive.
And I mean, that's the thing, and that's why I say I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I don't know my opinion on it, because like, once you get to once you finish the movie, like, what they were trying to do, you understand the sitcom part, and you can understand what they were doing. But when it was happening, I was just so like, why? What?
It's very unexpected.
It was unexpected, and
Yeah.
I've never seen something like that. So I mean, it's not a bad thing,
Yeah, I think
right?
it's good.
It's a good thing,
Well, then you're a lot like Roger Ebert, who was like, I need to see the movie again.
right?
When it
I
came
don't
out.
know that I would.
He loved
watch
it.
again.
He loved it. Gave it 4 stars. But
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. There's parts that I liked, and I think it was quite a ride.
Yeah.
I think that's probably good that you don't know how you feel about it,
Yeah.
because it's not a like easy movie.
Right.
Like,
it
there's-
has a lot.
It's hard to root for anybody.
Mhm.
Even though, like, I genuinely feel like the relationship between Mickey and Mallory is kind of sweet. If
It
you like,
is.
if you were able to strip away a lot of stuff, like, they do ultimately love each other.
Right.
So there is a little bit of sweetness there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I mean, it's kind of like the media. Like, you have to dig deep within all this the bullshit that they shovel to us, this sensationalism, to find like this little nugget of truth.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what the movie is about to its core.
And there
You
is no one there is no one in this movie that you enjoy. The cop's a scumbag. Like
Right.
the-
Oh yeah,
Jack,
yeah. I mean,
what's
they're
it,
they're the only two that are incorruptible.
Wayne, like they are who they are at least
Yeah.
the whole time.
Right.
Like they're
Yeah.
not pretending, and he says that even he's like, I'm not pretending to be anything
That I'm not.
different.
Yeah.
That I'm not.
No.
And like Wayne Gale is what is that accent?
So that's
What? I was
So-
watching this and I was like, Hugh Jackman exists, right? Like they could have
maybe not at this point.
I mean,
as
he's
like
alive on the
well,
planet.
he was alive, but not as like a screen actor.
No, he was doing like Oklahoma and The Man from Scary
yeah.
River, the TV series.
So it's based on the Wayne Gale character is kind of an amalgam of like Geraldo, and then in his research, Downey found this Australian version of Geraldo. I guess I'm not sure his name, and he just loved the tone and the accent, like marrying Geraldo with this like
That's funny.
incendiary Australian
Yeah.
newsman, quote unquote. It's brilliant. Like anytime I could watch him all day. He's just having so much fun. Like him and Tommy Lee especially
Yeah.
are having a great time.
yeah, Tommy Lee is just having the time of his life.
He's basically like a Looney
Yeah.
it's basically a Looney Tunes character. He like his hair is so like disorganized and like coiffed, and he's got like a ducktail. Like he might as well be the Road Runner or something.
Yeah.
And I love how Stone embraces like all of the culture too. Like it's not just, I mean, it's media all over. It's because he's talking about not just news but film and the stuff we show children, like cartoons, and what's the message we're really sending out. Is it just to chase just to chase money and ratings,
Right.
or are we trying to provide a better future?
Right.
Oh.
And
Um,
and I think that's part of why I'm like I don't know how I feel, because like I said, the storyline following the murderers, I like that. The message that it gives, and it's very obvious what the message is. I like that. And it's so true to today even. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like I like a lot of the aspects of it. The acting's great. I like Juliette Lewis. I like to see her in
I
things.
love Woody Harrelson. And
oh yeah,
Woody Harrelson's great. I mean, they're all great. The character acting in this is great.
it's hard not to root for him just
Right.
because he's Woody Harrelson. Like it's
Right. Same
Yeah, I
with
mean-
Juliette Lewis.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I wanted to root for her the whole time.
And like previously, before this, Woody, his main claim to fame was comedies. Was
Right.
Cheers, and I think White Man Can't Jump came out a year or two before this.
yeah.
It
No.
was-
Oh,
no.
I was just gonna say that was one thing that about the movie, like seeing Woody Harrelson in this, it wasn't as shocking, but like Rodney Dangerfield for me, for some reason that made it extra uncomfortable.
Yeah,
yeah.
he plays it so well.
Because yeah, and I didn't want him
Horrifying.
to.
Yeah.
yeah,
and
and
it
he
felt
didn't want
too
to
real.
either. Like
Right? Yeah, I
he-
read somewhere here that he didn't even understand
he
what they were doing.
Yeah,
like
his-
he didn't understand why they were putting laugh track behind it. They didn't know. He didn't understand what was going on.
and he didn't like the whole part where he's like kind of rubbing Juliette Lewis Mallory, and
Yeah.
he couldn't do it like that. So that
That's
there's like
great to
insert
hear.
shots of him like grabbing her butt or whatever. That's like stand-ins because he could.
Oh,
he,
okay.
like,
that
couldn't-
makes
he
me
could-
feel so much
he
better.
couldn't do any of that stuff.
Yeah, it literally made it. I think had it been somebody else, that scene wouldn't have been.
As uncomfortable.
As
No,
uncomfortable for
no.
me?
I think it should be super uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah, and I think adding like comedic actors.
Oh, yeah, I
that
didn't
you
like
that you recognize as just being like, oh, this like they're cartoons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
I
then-
love that he couldn't do it. That
Yeah.
that makes it so much better because it made me so uncomfortable.
But there's like when like Woody, I think was the main actor that he wanted for, and the studio wasn't big on it until White Man Can't Jump was a hit,
Right.
and Woody was like, why are you casting me in this? And he was just like, Stone told him that he could see he could see violence in his eyes.
He's
And I
great.
think Woody Harrelson's father did murder someone. Like, so there is, or he was like a hitman or something.
Yeah, something like that.
There's something,
Yeah. So I mean, he grew up in something's in his, like, is it in his genes or is it in his upbringing?
Right.
Like his, there's violence in his past, and like I think it, typically a lot of the, like the more insane or like gray area performances come. They're better when they come from people that you don't expect, like more
Right.
comedic actors.
Yeah.
Well, and like Woody Harrelson, I think he was talking about casting him and Juliette Lewis, and was basically like, they both have they're both like really genuine, sweet people in like,
Yeah.
but like they both have a look that is both like, they don't look like upper class, like,
Yeah.
wealthy.
I mean, Juliette Lewis
bossy.
kind of made a career of playing white trash.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then also like like you talked about, Juliette Lewis has these like big wide eyes, but like there is like a mischief in them also, that like feels like it fits here. And I very much enjoyed.
I think that's she has become pretty much a character actor, and I think she, like you said, there's just something in her eyes that works with the characters. That
Oh,
she
yeah.
plays. They're just it's so believable.
They both have wild eyes.
Yeah.
Like if they turn that on, then you believe that they can just flip a switch
yeah.
and like stab you in the heart.
Yeah,
Right.
That's the thing. I could not. I can't picture two other people in this
better in
movie.
No.
I will say the one thing that I noticed through the movie that I really loved and I find also horrifying is that basically every time they were in a room and you were seeing outside the room.
Oh yeah,
window
it's a
door,
rear projection.
It's a screen.
Yeah.
Like it's just like and it's like they're trapped in this, and it really goes into that line that Robert Downey Jr. says, like, from the first time you killed, you belonged
Yeah.
to us.
Yeah.
Like instead of being a real person that did something really horrible, you are suddenly
You're a character.
entertainment.
Yeah,
in the story, and I really I love and the dichotomy of them being mass murderers and him and the Woody Harrelson's character laying on the bed, watching the TV and being like, "Does anyone kiss anymore?" Because it's just violent. Like
Yeah, and
over
Scarface
over
is one of
over
the
and over
movies that's on
again.
TV, I think, which
Yeah.
Oliver Stone wrote.
Yeah, and it's just like
What?
like
Speaking of like the rear projection when they're in windows or when they're driving or whatever, that scene in particular, like in the hotel, there's a lot of subliminal editing in the movie, and that's not necessarily I can edit, but there's moments where I forget where it is. I think it might be in the sitcom thing. Anyway, somebody's like pushing Mickey's buttons, and there's I think it's in the opening diner, and there's like it's maybe 10 or 12 frames of him like just drenched in blood. Like you could, and that's
see that a
throughout
bunch of times
throughout the
throughout
movie that like, so it kind of puts you in the space of the character, like where they're at, like something's pissing him off.
yeah.
Right.
He's getting these visions of
Well, they talk about the demon, right?
The demon,
and they
yeah.
show it, and they show it repeatedly through the movie, and
Yeah.
you gotta catch it.
Even when we finished the movie, we both looked at each other and we just kind of were like, okay, we experienced that.
Yeah,
It wasn't like, I love that, I hated that. It wasn't anything. It was just,
that was an experience.
imagine what it felt
I
like in
experienced that.
1994.
I could not. I mean,
Well, that's the thing is, I think I came into this a little more prepared to experience something like this because I've seen movies that use these techniques.
Yeah.
Like in, I've watching, having worked at an art house, watching lots of student
Right.
films like that kind of, and like a film student sees this and they're like, I can do. They can't, but they try, and bless them for that. And then like they, and so like the idea of watching something that kind of has this like acid trip, like underlying subliminal message, like that kind of thing. I was like, okay, this is not. It wasn't totally out of left field for like. I mean, I've seen movies that do it before, so
Sure.
probably because this exists.
Yeah.
And so like I was like, okay. this is the kind of, I am now familiar with what this kind of movie is, and so I was like, this is the kind of movie that we are experiencing now. And horror borrows a lot from like this, like a lot. There's a good bit of modern horror that borrows some from this feel.
Yeah. Just an uneasiness.
Uneasiness and like the choppiness of the cuts and the like flashback, kind of nature of things. And
Yeah, and even though it's like it is very choppy and cut up, like there's an emotional coherency to what's going on.
Oh,
that,
for
like,
sure.
You
Absolutely.
still understand where everybody is and what's happening.
Yeah.
It's like constantly pushing and pulling you
Mm-hmm.
because you're repulsed by what they're doing, but then they keep pulling you in because you can't really look away, and like so it should feel like uneasy.
Yeah.
And I think like if you've never seen it, so you've heard about it, and it's a bit of like a notorious film. It's almost like
Right.
the '90s version of like Clockwork Orange.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had heard about Clockwork Orange so much about it before I saw it, and then I saw it, and I was like, wow. And there's a similar to this, like there's a raw,
Mm-hmm.
uneasy, like how should I feel about this?
Yeah.
and I like that.
I think that's a great comparison.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the same feeling because we've also done Clockwork Orange and I hadn't seen it, and same thing. It's a notorious movie. This I knew what this was. I knew about this movie. I did not know the way it was shot.
Yeah.
So I think that's another reason it caught me so off guard because I've always heard about this movie, but I've never heard of the way it's shot and presented.
Well, and they're both like really talking about the same thing to a certain degree. How much?
the ultra violence.
How much of the violence inherent in our nature is inherent to our like on a genetic level, and how much is it
upbringing,
the media,
right?
So
is everyone a monster under the right set of circumstances?
Yeah, is
Right.
it nature or nurture?
Yeah.
It's a classic kind of debate.
And this movie does it great, and I that's what I say. Like, I think a rewatch could possibly, with me already knowing,
What to
hey,
expect.
this is what it is.
Yeah.
I might really enjoy it. But it was just one of those things where, also I probably wasn't in the mood to watch a movie like this. I didn't realize this is what it was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought I was sitting down to basically watch like a crime drama type movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I knew what it was
is,
about.
but-
Right. But I didn't know I was going to watch like an artsy version of that. As a just a casual viewer is what I usually am. This was just a lot.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not like Tammy or something.
Right.
Like you just throw on, it's like, oh yeah, I got a couple hours. Let's watch a fun movie.
Right. Which I'm pretty sure after this we threw on
Oh my god.
the new Medea movie. About a road trip, which just it really it was great to transition into that.
A little palate cleanse, a little a little lighter
Change of pace.
quality. I really love and that really is like I feel like one of the ultimate conceits, right? There in the end in his big speech, where he's like doing the interview and he's like, Robert Downey Jr. is like innocent people. He goes, well, who's innocent? Are you
Right.
You're innocent, and he's like, well, I'm innocent. I've never like killed anybody. And then the moment he has the opportunity
Oh yeah.
to kill and
He
get
loses
away
it.
with it, he absolutely like full on video game like
He's got his tie tied
Around his head.
like a
around
Rambo
his
or
head,
something.
Rambo. He's
We
like,
were
Wayne
just
Gale,
like,
don't
oh.
shoot, and mows down like 7 guards.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like it's like with less regard for like human life or decency than like
There's a very thin
all of
line
the murderers.
that
And,
like
Sure.
that
yeah,
keeps society and keeps us from
from the animals that we are.
Yeah.
from turning into. That's what's so scary.
And
about,
some of us,
like,
the line's so thin.
yeah.
And like mob mentality is like a thing. So like
Oh, yeah.
everyone loses it together. Like
Yeah,
Chris and
no,
I,
it's-
like
That
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
that's the scariest thing about. I guess like
Mhm.
my biggest fears aren't like my biggest fears like the economy crashing and
Mm-hmm.
everyone, AI takes over all of our jobs, and
Right.
there's no safety nets for anything, and people,
And we
it
devolve
just,
into.
it devolves into like, we'll get to
Madness.
Mad Max territory pretty
Yeah.
quick.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm gonna souping up my car
The
and
water
putting some
wars
armor.
There you
are
go.
coming, but like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I
like,
mean, no,
you know
that's
what I
that's
mean?
real.
For sure.
Yeah, that's real.
That's real.
Like,
There's,
Yeah.
they're
And that's the
like-
thing about watching movies is like I've noticed, through the podcast watching all these different style movies, like everything is one event from being hell, basically.
Yeah,
I mean, it is. Everything is.
Yeah.
And you watch these movies because it's supposed to be so far-fetched and so entertaining, but then if you really sit and think about it, you're like, maybe not.
But
Yeah.
it's
Maybe
like,
not so far-fetched.
but there is something that is intrinsic to us. Like we are not. Yes, we can think and reason and talk and share ideas with future generations, and we generally know like that. We generally have a code of relatively agreed upon ethics that humanity follows, but that's it.
Right.
That's the only division between us and every other creature in existence that fights and kills and has zero regard for, like, life.
we can just do it more efficiently.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing is like, I feel like he kind of touched on that. He's like, yeah, we kill everything. It's just we call it industry and not.
Yeah. No.
But,
That's what I like so much about that speech in particular, the interview in the jail.
is he's not totally wrong.
No, like
Right.
you're
His
like,
actions are just abhorrent because of what he believes. Like it's
but you see what he talks about, especially with like the mass killings, and it's like, well, or in third world countries, they will starve a population, and it's like what is that quote? Kill one person, you're a murderer. Oh, then it's from a Megadeth song. Kill one person, you're a murderer. Kill a million, or you're a conqueror. And it's like, yeah, it's the hypocrisy of our, not just the current climate, but our past is
it's
For sure.
true.
readily apparent.
I also heard like a similar thing, like steal a crown, you lose your head, steal a kingdom, and they give you the crown. Like it's like like it just it's there is a level at which we stop holding people responsible for their actions.
Yeah. It's like you reach another level of awful human behavior that they're just like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But
Right.
And like this whole concept that like, even, and I think that's what you get here is like, no one is completely bad and no one is completely dark and no one is completely light.
No.
Like this idea.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen, there's been like a news article going around lately, which obviously like horrendous dictator like Kim Jong-un.
Oh, that
and
one.
his like that, and him being very sweet with his like daughter on like not in like a creepy way, but in a like, hey, look at this like kind of way, and people are like, that's crazy, like he's like a girl dad, but like he's a horrible person. And
No,
it's
he's
like, no, he's not. He's a horrible human.
Right.
But not everyone is like. That's the thing is like with Mickey, like with Mickey's character here. Yes, he loves Mallory. That's real. Like he is a person that loves another human being. But he is a psycho murderer, with delusions of grandeur. Like,
but he's he's aware of it to a certain degree, and that I think that's what makes him compelling, and you can kind of be on his side because he sees the hypocrisy in what's in his existence, and like in his existence post, murder spree in the public consciousness, and I think exposing that little bit of truth does gain you fans.
Yeah, evil people can be compelling.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, they're the most interesting characters in most movies.
And they're historically compelling to like people in like
the history.
history. Like
how many Hitler documentaries are made every year?
Right, yeah,
it's
and I think that's
it's
why
continually fascinating.
I think that's another reason why, like, probably my favorite scene was the interview. Towards the end, and that's because I mean I watch crime stuff all the time. I listen to crime stuff all the time. Most likely, if I'm watching something or listening to something, there's murder going on.
Murder.
So so I really enjoyed that, and it is somewhat based on Manson's interview.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know who it was, but Manuel Noriega as well.
Oh yeah.
But I could tell it was based on Manson for sure. But it's just I don't know. That scene was so real, and maybe that's another part because like how crazy the whole movie is. Then you get to that interview, and it's just so real.
Yeah.
And everything he's saying is so true, and it's just like really pounding in the meaning of the movie through that interview.
I love the little bit. I think it's before the interview where Mickey's asking Wayne. Wayne mentions like how well like the ratings for his episode.
Yes.
And I forget. He's like, Mickey asks him,
How's
he's like,
Bundy?
where's it bigger than Bundy or whoever?
And he's like, yeah,
yeah.
you're bigger.
And he's like, what about Manson? He's like, well, Manson
Manson beat you.
got you. He's like, well, it's hard to beat the king.
Yep.
And it's-
Yeah.
I love the little moment of Mickey, just like
Buying into that. Like,
yeah, buying into
Right.
the
Seeing
the
his
whole
fame.
all the BS. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really funny.
Which I think their goal was to be famous. It was like
That's what they knew fame was.
Yeah.
That's what
you
they
know?
knew. They knew that this will make you live forever
Yeah,
in like the minds of like everyone around you. And it's like, I mean, what does it take? You like now, and it says something terrible about our society, but the idea of being remembered for doing something good is
Way less.
all
it's
that.
it's way less interesting to historians or
Or anyone. And they were like, but this
yeah.
will essentially be
Well,
immortal. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, this is coming after there had been like a series of
Mhm.
high profile, like the Menendez brothers and the Lorena Bobbitt thing that were just
Mhm.
sucked up all the air in the news. And what's crazy is like how that was it culminated in the OJ trial,
right.
which, I mean, in another way, this movie was somewhat prophetic. Like, imagine if they had got an OJ interview
Mhm.
like mid trial,
Right.
or like right after his, he didn't get in prison, but at that point. But it's kind of amazing how these all like hit at the right time and were very aware and of a shift in the landscape of media.
And
Yeah.
like and the interview itself just feels so scummy in the way
Oh,
that
yeah.
like Wayne is like, you're a horrible, horrible person. You're a terrible monster. But tell me about it. Tell me so much about it. I need to know exactly how it worked. And it's like, you're a horrible monster, man. Like,
Yeah, he's the real monster.
like, it's not, he's like, he's going into this guy, and it's the same thing with the police officer who's like, has made books and a deal out of
Scagnetti,
Scagnetti, where he's just like these terrible, terrible people, and it's like,
But he's capitalizing on it.
you strangled and murdered a woman in your
Yeah.
hotel room, like,
Also that.
That's just, I mean,
you
like,
know.
I think, with the current climate, like you see, like even you can have a, good public image, and it's like, well, what's going on behind
what's going on
Right.
behind closed doors.
closed doors?
Mhm.
Or a bad public image and still
Yeah.
And
anyway.
it'll still be fine.
Yeah, and I love. I mean, I've always liked Tom Sizemore a lot. He's great as Scagnetti. I love the bit where I think, if I remember, she actually headbutted him.
Oh, broke
And
his nose.
broke his nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Juliette Lewis did.
So it's pretty wild the way they made the movie.
Mhm.
And I guess so I guess we should talk about.
Oh, it was when she slammed his face into the wall.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
She actually did it and broke his nose.
So I guess we talk so it began as a Tarantino script.
Right.
Oh,
That had been going around for a couple years, and it came to the honestly, the title, Stone tells it, like the title caught his attention, and then he read it and he thought it was good and bought it, and then proceeded to completely change
Mm-hmm.
the movie. There's a really great book I read. I think it's called Killer Instinct. It's about the making of the movie. And I mean, unsurprisingly, Oliver Stone was coked out of his mind for a lot of the making of the movie, which shows in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, that makes more sense. Yeah.
But it's amazing how clear-headed it is. Like
Right.
like some people can just function
Right.
like that, and it was a very wild production, as you can probably tell. So yeah, and I guess certainly the controversy after the movie was like supposed copycat killings,
Oh,
similar to
really?
Clockwork Orange, actually, which is why
I
Clockwork
didn't know
Orange
about
was.
that.
Oh yeah, I mean it was a big thing. Like basically, if any young person was involved in a violent murder or shooting or
They were linking it back to
they were linking it back to Natural Born Killers, Doom, and then later in the decade, The Matrix.
Yeah.
In the 70s, it was Clockwork Orange, and that's why Clockwork Orange was banned in the UK because there
Right.
were a series of copycat, supposedly inspired by the movie, but ultimately it's a movie, and this one is so ridiculous.
Right.
I mean, the way it opens with the diner, and like
Yeah.
I think Mickey throws a knife, and you see the knife spinning in slow motion as the
Right.
guy runs away, and there's like cartoonish
Blood
sound effects
splatter
and
Mhm.
yeah.
and it's like this is I mean it's ridiculous, it's utterly ridiculous, and you can't
Right.
help but like laugh at it. But
In
yeah,
fact, I think I
there
laughed
were-
at that exact scene.
Yeah, I mean, it totally lets you in on like what the next 2 hours
Yeah.
are going to be like.
I think that goes down to like where does the blame lie, right? On the and people want to put it on the movies, the video games, the whatever, and it's
Yeah.
like no, there's something wrong with this person
Absolutely,
who does this already. They were always going to do something horrific.
it was going to manifest
Probably.
some way.
It was going to manifest in some way. And did like, the fact that they said, "Oh, that one's cool. I like that one." I highly doubt they were like, "Oh, I've never seen a murder before." That person was contemplating a murder. They just saw a way to
Yeah,
do it different. Like, you know what I mean?
and it's kind of interesting as far as life imitating art, because ultimately the movie's about these two kids who, they're shown violent movies and violent games, and then they end up murdering, and it's like how much of it, it's an interesting dichotomy.
Yeah.
Right,
And
but
I mean, and it's like that's the constant thing, and it still
Not-
goes on. Like,
Not blaming the movie, I'm just
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
it's
yeah.
it is.
But I mean, like the blaming of the media or movies, media in general, games, Grand Theft Auto, they link everything back to it, and
Yeah.
I mean that's an ongoing.
It's been a
It
thing.
always has been
forever.
a thing. I mean, even in Scream, I had to look this up so I didn't say it wrong because I would then be mad at myself. But it's don't blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
that's a really good line.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a great line.
yeah.
That's why I didn't want to mess it up.
And it's honestly
Um,
true. Like these
Right.
these kids were gonna
They're going to do it anyways.
they were gonna kill somebody. They were gonna do something. It's just like maybe the movie was like they'll wear trench coats
right.
like the Columbine killers,
Exactly.
or like because they
Paint their face.
or
Right,
The
right.
crow, or
What?
just
oh,
different
crow
things.
killers. But yeah, they'll like the visage of
Right.
the violence that is somewhat inevitable.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, or that's the thing of it is I believe the movie very squarely lays the blame for who they become, not so much on like the media or any of this, but the
The way they came
the
up.
way they came up.
Yeah. Oh,
It very
absolutely.
squarely lays it on like these kids were abused.
Yeah.
They were subjected to horrible things, and no one ever saved them,
Mm-hmm.
and so they found solace in each other.
Right.
Yeah.
And two broken, like they're not able to save each other. They're only able to make each other worse.
Yeah.
And,
And- And Mickey, especially like his awareness,
Mhm.
I think makes him that much more worthy of some level of empathy,
Sure.
like his, like the interview where he
Mhm.
just lays it all out. It's like, yeah, I get where he's coming from.
Right.
well, I mean, that's like the scene with the Native American man.
Oh,
where
yeah.
he's like, where he sees the two of them, and he's like, that one has the demon,
Yeah.
that one's lost in sadness,
Mhm.
and it's just like, But you also see multiple times her it's like once she was told that we can kill people just for harming us or just for her, like once he gave her that permission, now someone walks by and like annoys her or whatever,
Looks at her the wrong way.
looks at her the wrong way, she now jumps to that. Like it's like it let it in.
It's like when they're like little wedding on the bridge.
And he goes, I'm
it's
not
like
killing
really sweet.
someone on our wedding day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And somebody drives by and she's like goes off on him, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a very like succinct
Yeah.
version of their.
And his like illusions of grandeur and stuff are so like textbook serial killer like stuff where he's like, I, as the god of my own like universe,
Yeah.
like that kind of thing. And it's like, and there's a couple of things like talking about fate, like it's fate every time, it's
Right.
like that all of this is very classic, signs of whatever sort of psychosis causes someone to
And
be a mass murderer.
that was one thing that I did like is, like we said, you saw what mass media did with it and kind of made them famous, and people like at the trial, there's the sign that says, murder me,
Mickey.
Murder me,
Mickey.
Mickey. Yeah.
murder me, Mickey. Like, but they weren't blaming the media for what was going on, because
Yeah.
I did like that, because that's always been, and that's what I was saying earlier, is like I've always hated that. They may pull ideas from it, but I mean, I haven't murdered anybody yet, and I played all those games and things like that,
Yeah.
and it's just like that doesn't make you a murderer. There has to be other things there.
What is interesting is how do you take some like how is someone born a human being on this planet like every other human being on this planet and end up here?
I think it was a good discussion, but also just it was interesting. I don't know how I feel about it, but it was interesting, and I liked a lot of it and a lot of what it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you give it another shot.
I think I'm going to have to eventually,
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
because I feel like second time around I might really like it. All right, so I guess that brings us to the end of the discussion on this movie.
So I think since me and Aaron have gone, the next we're going to give Tobey a turn.
Yeah.
Picking the next movie.
I'm just
That'll
round robining it now, I guess. I'm gonna do just like one of my comfort movies. I probably watch it 2 or 3 times a year. I'm gonna do A Knight's Tale. It's got Heath Ledger and Shannon Sossamon and
Paul Bettany.
and Alan
Alan
Tudyk. And it's like from the 2001.
I think it is 2000 or 2001. Yeah.
And it is like anachronistic, just fun. It's just a fun comedy.
Join us next episode where we will discuss Toby's pick, A Knight's Tale. And of course, as always, you should probably watch it and then join us, because we will be talking about the movie.
Short, 90 minutes.
Oh, now I like that. All right.
It's not very long.
Well, I just got excited. Yeah. But anyways, watch the movie. Join us next time, A Knight's Tale. We'll discuss it then.
Yeah.
But until then, I'm Aaron.
I'm Josh.
I'm Toby.
And this has been The Real Opposites.